There are some things in life that seem ordinary until they become part of something much bigger than you ever expected. This is the story of the Wilson family, and how an old, forgotten recipe changed not just their Thanksgiving, but how they saw each other and their past. It all started one chilly November afternoon, just a few days before Thanksgiving. The Wilsons were busy preparing for their annual family feast, a tradition that had been held at Grandma Alice's house for as long as anyone could remember. It was the sort of gathering where laughter and stories filled the air, and the table groaned under the weight of turkey, mashed potatoes, pies, and every delicious thing imaginable. But this year, something felt different. Grandma Alice had passed away the year before, and this would be the first Thanksgiving without her. The family felt the empty space she had left, an emptiness that hung in the air like the cool fall wind swirling through the leafless trees outside. In the midst of all this, the Wilson kids, Hannah, 12, and Jacob, 8, were helping their mom, Sarah, and dad, Mike, clean out the old kitchen cupboards. It was a task no one particularly enjoyed, but they had to prepare the house for the family gathering. It was while they were rummaging through the back of a forgotten drawer that Hannah's hand brushed against something. She pulled out a small, weathered envelope, so old that the edges were curling and the paper was yellowed with time. Written on the front, in careful, elegant handwriting, were the words, "Grandma Clara's Sweet Potato Pie." Now, Grandma Clara had been Sarah's great-grandmother, long gone, her memory kept alive only through old stories and a few family photos tucked in albums. No one in the Wilson family had spoken much about her, and certainly no one had mentioned a special sweet potato pie recipe. But there it was, sitting right in Hannah's hands. "Mom, look at this!" Hannah cried, waving the envelope in the air. Sarah's brow furrowed as she wiped her hands on her apron and took the envelope from Hannah. She opened it carefully, as though the paper might crumble. Inside was a neatly folded piece of paper, with a recipe written in the same delicate script, and at the bottom, a note, "For the ones who come after me. May this pie bring you together, as it always did for our family." Sarah stared at the note for a long moment. She had never seen this recipe before. In fact, she had never heard of her great-grandmother Clara making a sweet potato pie. What Sarah didn't know was that this pie was special. It had been passed down from one generation to another, long before even Grandma Clara. It was said that the pie had a way of bringing people together, no matter what had happened or how much time had passed. When that pie was served, the family would feel whole again. But with time, recipes and traditions had a way of slipping away, just like memories. And so, this one had been forgotten, until now. "Should we try making it for Thanksgiving?" Jacob asked, peering over his mom's shoulder. "I don't see why not," Sarah said, smiling softly. "It might be nice to bring something from our past to this year's table. Especially without Grandma Alice here." The family agreed, and so, with great care, they gathered the ingredients listed in the recipe: sweet potatoes, cinnamon, nutmeg, butter, and a few other simple items. The smell of sweet, spicy pie filled the house as they baked it, each of them taking turns to mix, stir, and shape the crust. But there was something more than just the smell in the air. As they worked together, memories of Grandma Alice started to bubble up. Sarah found herself telling stories about how Grandma Alice used to let her lick the spoon after making cookies, and how they'd always laugh until their stomachs hurt. Mike chimed in with his own memories of family camping trips, while Hannah and Jacob listened wide-eyed, asking questions and giggling at the funnier moments. What the Wilsons didn't realize was that the recipe wasn't just about the pie. It was about the magic that happens when people come together, sharing stories, remembering the ones who came before, and creating something beautiful together. By the time Thanksgiving rolled around, the Wilsons were buzzing with excitement. They had set the table with extra care, and in the center of it all was Grandma Clara's sweet potato pie. When the rest of the family arrived, cousins, aunts, uncles, the house was soon filled with chatter, the clinking of dishes, and the warmth of being together. But it wasn't until dessert that the real magic began. As Sarah cut the first slice of the sweet potato pie, something remarkable happened. People around the table, who had been talking in separate groups, all quieted down. They took their first bites, and one by one, smiles spread across their faces. It wasn't just about the taste, though it was delicious, rich and creamy, with just the right balance of sweetness and spice. It was as if each bite held a story of its own. People began sharing memories they hadn't thought of in years. Old stories of Thanksgiving dinners past, of Grandma Alice's laugh, of family traditions that had almost been forgotten. Uncles and aunts reminisced about their childhood, cousins swapped stories about the mischievous pranks they used to play, and everyone felt, for the first time in a long while, like Grandma Alice was right there with them. As the evening drew to a close, and the last crumbs of pie were wiped from the plates, Sarah looked around the table at her family. The house felt full again, not just of people, but of love, laughter, and the deep connections that tied them all together. The forgotten recipe had done more than bring back a pie, it had brought back the heart of their family. And so, the Wilsons carried on their Thanksgiving tradition, with one important addition, Grandma Clara's sweet potato pie. Every year, they baked it together, adding their own stories and memories to the mix, ensuring that the recipe, and the spirit of their family, would never be forgotten again. In the end, it wasn't just about the pie. It was about remembering the people who came before and the simple joys that connect us all. And that is the true magic of Thanksgiving.
Please like, subscribe and share my video to see more of my contents. Thank you.